All right, prevention fam. That is who you are to me now. We have reached the nutrition module. Now, while nutrition is number 4 on my 5 pillars of Alzheimer's prevention, I want to make it really clear that it is still a priority, and we're going to talk about why. This is where it all began for me. When my mom was initially diagnosed with Alzheimer's, I took her into my home to help her turn it around. Basically, that was my thought, was that we were going to turn it around. And in doing so, I began to read. The first book that I read was The End of Alzheimer's, and this is the End of Alzheimer's program book. This is the second book that Dr. Bredesen, whoops, sorry about that. This is the second book that Dr. Bredesen released that just spells out his protocol. But I read his class. I got certified as a brain health coach his book. In reading his book, I learned all about nutrition. I mean, I learned a ton, but I learned about nutrition and how nutrition could help with brain health. And that was where I felt like it needed to begin. My mom already was what was to be considered at that point late mid-stage Alzheimer's, and so there wasn't a lot that I could do to force her to sleep better. I could get her eating better and hopefully get her sleeping better, but realistically, we didn't know how her sleep was. And at the time, I didn't even really know what the pillars were. I mean, that's kind of what I've termed them to be based on all of the education I've had since then. But this started in 2019. And so March of 2019, we moved her in with us and I dove into reading. And I started understanding how nutrition affected the brain. I started learning how certain foods would really trigger reactions in our bodies. I started to understand that you don't have to be a diabetic to become Alzheimer's, to become an Alzheimer's patient. You don't have to be, you don't have to carry this illness to get Alzheimer's. You don't have to have the genetic variants that I talk about all the time that I have to get Alzheimer's. It just increases your chance of getting it. And so in this module, this is probably going to be the longest module because it is the thing that we can't go without is sleep and food, right? Like we have to have sleep, we have to have food, we have to have water. We can go without exercise, we can go without fasting, we can go without, the next module, which is talking about meditation. We can go without all of that, but we can't go without sleep and we can't go without food. Most of us will go without food or go without sleep before we will go without food. Food is addictive. Food is something that we have been taught, especially here in the US, that we need to put into our bodies all day long, every day, in order to maintain our metabolism, in order to keep our energy, in order to be healthy. And in doing that, in promoting that way of life, we have been taught wrong. That's the gist of it. And this module is probably going to upset some people. It may be the module that you go, yep, I'm done, and click out of it. I hope not. I really do. But I'm going to touch on some things in this module, such as addiction, such as trigger foods, such as, excuses that we make to continue living a lifestyle that is unhealthy for us, such as the foods that you probably love that you should not be putting into your body because they are triggering your brain to protect itself. And we're going to cover so much content in this module that is just going to be A, eye-opening, B, some of it's going to be like, yeah, I hear that all the time. C, it's going to create a lot of questions for you, I'm sure. And, I'm going to try and answer a lot of them just in the teachings in this module. But again, I cannot emphasize enough, get in the membership, ask your questions, ask your, get in the Voxer group where it's more one-on-one with me, ask your questions, because between this module and the sleep module, and the reason that they are not 1 and 2 is because the exercise portion of it is so protective for the brain. And so if you are trying to prevent or reverse cognitive decline, the sleep and the exercise are the most important things when it comes to the prevention aspect, because changing your diet, we do that all the time. I mean, if you're a female who's from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, I'm sure in some form or fashion, you've done some crash diets or fad diets. I mean, it's just what we do. I'm sure you've also heard that changing your diet is a lifestyle change. Diet just means the type of food that you put in your body. So when we say we're going to go on a diet, we've learned to associate that word with we're going to lose weight. We're going to change what we're doing with our food so that we can lose weight or so that we can hit certain goals or whatever the case may be. That is not what this is about. If you're looking to lose weight, you're probably going to if you follow this protocol. But the concept of these pillars, the reason for this particular module is not weight loss. You're going to lose weight if you start fasting. Fasting is the healing aspect of it, right? So here's where it starts. 1 is healing. 2 is protection. 3 is healing. 4, module 4 that we're in right now is about prevention. This is where the, or not prevention, reversal. This is where the reversal starts. This is where you start changing the way your body responds to foods, the way your body responds to, your brain responds to food, and you start building a whole new lifestyle. And so when you start listening to these videos as we move through this module, the most important thing that I can possibly ask of you while you're going through this module specifically is that you determine that you are going to make a lifestyle change. You determine that this is not about weight loss. This is not about a quick fix. This is not about short term. Because if you choose to do this just while you're doing this course, then you are defeating the purpose. This course is about lifetime prevention. This course is about not getting Alzheimer's. This course is about learning how to enjoy your life and enjoy certain aspects of life without destroying your mind. And so, yes, I am going to give you options in this module that's going to help you get to enjoy some of those foods that you like, but maybe not quite so unhealthily. I'm going to ask you to stop buying boxed food. Yeah, you're gonna hate and love me by the end of this module, I promise you. But I also promise you that if you stick to it and you listen to all of the videos for this module, you will walk away knowing so much more than you knew. You will walk away understanding so much more why food is so imperative to our health, our brain health, our cellular health, our endocrine health, our nervous system. Like, food is the central focus of why we get sick. It creates the inflammation that creates Alzheimer's. It's not the only thing, but it's the primary thing. And a lot of that just boils down to how we were taught. I was not taught to eat healthy. I'm from the South. My grandmother fried cornbread, fried chicken, fried everything. And, I ate fast food like it was going out of style. And I grew up, if you're interested, I wrote a little book that's available on Amazon. I'm not going to put a huge plug in here for it, but if you're interested, let me know. I grew up with food as a babysitter. So I never had a good relationship with food. And I've only just in the last probably 7 or 8 years started to really accept that and work on it. So that's another thing that we're going to talk about in this module is what your relationship with food looks like, because most of us don't have a good one. Most of us that are really concerned about Alzheimer's prevention are living a pretty unhealthy life. I was living, my husband and I were 30 pounds heavier and eating out all the time and not thinking about it and saying we were going to get better and saying we were going to work out, and we'd get really good at it for a short period of time. And then the next thing you know, we'd be right back to our lifestyle because we were dieting. we were trying to get a quick fix for a short period of time so that we could go back and live the way we wanted to. And when my mother got diagnosed, that's when it hit me hard. So this is what I'm trying to help you prevent. I'm trying to help you prevent waiting until someone in your family gets a diagnosis that kicks your butt into high gear so that you don't get that same diagnosis in 10 years or 20 years. But B, I'm also trying to help you not get the diagnosis yourself. You don't want to get in. I mean, yes, if you're already diagnosed with short-term memory issues, cognitive decline of any kind, this program can help you 100%. In fact, I'm looking into getting certified as an Alzheimer's reversal coach. But right now, the prevention methods that I have will do some reversal, especially for type 2 diabetes, early stage Alzheimer's. You know, we are definitely diving into that whole category throughout this entire course. But when it comes to nutrition, I just ask that you keep an open mind. I am not telling you that you can never have the things that you love. I am telling you that you have to make a commitment. That's it. You just have to make a commitment to rearrange your lifestyle. And what that's going to look like is going to be different for every single person in this course, because we all have different relationships with food. We all have different things that trigger us. And maybe you have nothing that triggers you. Maybe you have no issues around food, but maybe you still are that person that decides that you're going to go hit up the bar on the weekend and, you know, have an all-nighter. That still counts. So let's get rolling. We're going to really dive deep on this one. I sit tight, pay attention. There's so much information for me to give you because, like I said, this is where it all started for me. I've been fascinated in studying nutrition since 2008, and it just keeps getting more in depth and more real and more focused. Now it's 100% focused on disease prevention, Alzheimer's being the primary disease, which is why we're here. So yeah, I'm super excited for this module. We are going to take it and get going, and I will see you in the next video.